The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care, and peace of mind through it all. Because Blue is here for you.
Welcome to the Made in Iowa podcast presented by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I'm your host, Lisa Fox, in the Iowa Everywhere studio. And today I get to spend time with my good friend, Mike Espeset with Story Construction. Believe it or not, his company actually built one of my favorite venues, Hilton Coliseum. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Mike Espeset, Story Construction. Why has it been so long for you to get in the studio?
Well, you're busy. You've got a lot of things going on, and so I'm glad to be able to slide in when you're ready.
You know, I had to prepare myself, because I know this is going to be a rapid fire conversation. I initially called you because I know you run a super tight ship when it comes to safety with your employees. And as we delved deeper into that conversation, it's a product of your processes.
It is.
Talk about how you have operationalized such a difficult industry in a way that you replicate that process on every job site.
How much time we got?
You know, we've only got about 45 minutes, so keep it short.
I'll be quick. So our lean journey started 13 years ago. And we could see that baby boomers were going to be retiring, and we needed to replace their capacity and accelerate the growth of young people within the industry without regard to just our company, but everybody, to try and fill the void that they would leave, not just in their knowledge and experience, but in their productive capacity and number. And there were a few things we could have done to try and combat that. What we elected to do was fully invest in lean, and our internal name for it is Construction Production 2.0. And so we have trailers on all of our sites that are filled with Post-it notes, Sharpies, and team wisdom, where we try and crowdsource and harness the ideas from everybody on the job on how we should execute versus relying on a singularly smart, experienced person to tell everybody what to do. That was kind of the 1.0 way, and it kind of worked with a lot of experience on the site surrounding it. We don't see that as a winning formula today, so we need to harness the wisdom of everybody on the site and take advantage of it.
And I want to step back for just a second. For those that have never been on a job site, to really understand the role of the general contractor. So Story Construction is a GC, and that GC is responsible for coordinating and executing. How many different subs might you have on a job site?
Yeah, depending on size, scope, scale, anywhere between 20 and 35 different construction disciplines and trade partners show up to execute. So while we self-perform a few elements of the work, we are by and large the orchestrator of the process.
With that, you are dependent on those subs and their cultures to align with yours to deliver an end product that meets your standards.
Yes, and I'll say it differently. We view it as part of our process and part of our job to create a culture on the site with those team members that is safe, that is collaborative, and that allows everybody to bring their best game. So we are not relying on every individual company to do that and have great alignment with us all of the time. It's better if they do, but so much of our selection process is price-based selection. We're bidding in the market and people are bidding to us. And so we don't have the luxury of hand-picking partners every time. And even if we pick the companies, we might have new team members from their companies joining us. So we really view it as an opportunity for us to create a culture on a site that embodies really everything that we want to have happen with those team members to deliver a great outcome.
You and I first met through the Association of Business and Industry, ABI. You were probably at the time the youngest CEO at that table. Talk about your path to CEO and how you were able to digest information and operationalize it. Because of all the things I respect about you, you are a lifelong learner that really picks things up constantly and applies them.
Well, thank you. And I'm pretty sure you give me too much credit. So I'll tell the story. I came to school to Iowa State from Minnesota to be an engineer. And I didn't really know which discipline of engineering, but found my way to construction engineering, graduated, and started through the operations paths of projects and management and leadership. And I made moves to two different companies. I started at Story and then went to the White's company for a couple of years and Ryan Companies in Cedar Rapids for 4 years. And every move I made, it was what I learned, not what I learned about the industry, but it's what I learned about me and how I best fit and was meant to play and participate in support of the outcome we were seeking. And so I came back to be the business development guy at Story back in 1999. And there were things in flight at that time that were set up to be pretty exciting as it relates to operationalizing things. In our industry, by and large, if you walk up to people on a construction site or you talk to engineers, they avert their eyes, they look the other way, they don't want to engage. I'm unusual in that way. So I tend to be more the outside-facing element that gets to represent a lot of good work that happens by a lot of people on the inside. So I see it, and I'm part of helping to build the operationalizing of things. But Pat Geary, one of my business partners, and many other people inside make the magic happen. I'm here to help support it and then tell its story.
So you started as the BD. How long did you serve in that role before you were tapped for the CEO role?
I would argue I still serve in the BD role, but
my
business card changed in 2004. It started to change in 2003, and then it changed in 2004. So it's been over 20 years. But while the label on the business card changed, how I participate really hasn't. I tell people all the time, if I make friends, keep friends, and make things happen, generally that's good for the company and good for those that we serve and serve with. And I think the most beneficial that I've seen through time is the keep friends.
Yeah.
Anybody can make them. It's hard to keep them.
Yep.
Well, and for me, it's not hard. It's more natural, but it is certainly a discipline.
Yep. You and I were both in the audience when Gino Wickman, who wrote the book Traction, came to Des Moines the first time and introduced us to the entrepreneurial operating system. Mm-hmm. As you've described it, Construction Production 2.0 leverages a lot of those EOS tools, but translates them into the construction realm. Talk about how you did that.
Our company has a long history of strategic planning. And we, at the time, that was about 13 years ago, we were looking for the next generation of a way to do that. coincidentally, and at the same time, we were just launching our lean journey in construction production 2.0. So learning about EOS. So I think ABI sent out the books, and I read Jim Collins' book, and it was so good. It was drippy just to read it and consume it. And I was really looking forward to hear him speak. And then I had traction. I thought, I'm not a quitter. I'll read this too before the conference. And I ended up probably enjoying that as much, if not more, than Jim Collins' book, and then hearing Gino speak. So I didn't realize how early adopters we were with EOS and how early adopting the state of Iowa was really with EOS. Alan Richardson ended up being our first implementer, and I think he was maybe EOS implementer number 7, and Mark Stanley was number 4. So we were early. Yep. So we launched on that, and we were starting our lean journey, and it became apparent within the first year that many of the operating rhythms and the operating system of EOS applied to a company and applied to business functions much in the same way Construction Production 2.0 applied to projects and project cycles and rhythms. So if you line the two up, and I've done this in a document, they are really foundationally based in much of the same thought process.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, coincidental.
Isn't that crazy? Maybe not. Maybe it was meant to be.
I suspect it was. And we talk about it commonly within the company that we are all working in an operating system. We are all of our team members are either working in EOS or 2.0, and some have a foot in both operating systems. But we work today in an operating system.
In an industry that in a lot of ways becomes transient, the employees don't stick around as long as maybe other industries. You keep your people a long time. What do you attribute the retention level that you have to?
That's a flattering comment. Sometimes it feels like we do, and sometimes it feels like we don't. I'd say historically, the construction industry, to include our company, we have enjoyed a lot of longevity and a lot of loyalty. That's two-way. The employer is loyal to the employees and vice versa. And today, I'd say that is not a societal norm, and that is not the contract that's kind of put out there. And so what do? We seek to create stable work environments on our sites with the use of our lean system. We became an ESOP 3.5 years ago, so we changed our ownership model to not include a handful of owners from within the company, but really everybody from within the company. And we believe we are as I'll say modern as a company of our size and scale is able to be to provide good work environments and allow you to be home. One of my team members was just saying it the other day. Some of us grew up traveling with companies, and when you traveled, you were on the road, and your family was the people you worked with. But our company, our value proposition is to stay close to home and be diverse in our offerings as opposed to specialize and have a lot of travel. And so with that, that's a value proposition that hits with some people, and with others, they want more variety and spice, and everybody is sort of learning their way through that. So we're proud of what we do and proud of how we do it, and we're seeking to find people that believe what we believe, that want to come and stay and build it and make it happen.
Before I came in to the studio today, I stopped at the Build My Future event out at the Varied Industries building. I don't know, thousands of students learning about careers in the trades. I think it was bigger than it's been in a lot of years. And I think the focus with AI eliminating a lot of those middle management jobs are going to create an awareness for the trades that haven't existed before. Do you find that's happening already? Are you able to find the employees that it takes to do the work today?
No.
Okay.
No to the answer. Are we able to find the employees? So I'll provide two frames of reference. One, and I was just reading something in Axios the other day, but and I think the hypothesis was this: we had a growing population in the U.S., and so we needed to add 30,000 jobs a month or something like that to keep the unemployment rate stable, or and to maybe start to decline.
Yep.
Today, based on the graph that I saw, we don't need to add any jobs
Seriously.
for it to be stable. So there are just simply fewer workers, whether you're going to work in an AI industry, a construction industry, or something like that. So we have a population issue that we will deal with. And I think AI holds the opportunity to stem some of that tide and allow workers that might be doing those things to do other things. And then the trick is, will they choose the trades, or will they choose manufacturing, or will they choose something that has some physical demand to it, that may have a little travel to it, that may require you to be there, as opposed to, hey, it's great working from home because I can throw some laundry in while I'm here.
Right.
Like, that doesn't work in our industry.
No.
So it remains to be seen how many people come that way and find joy that way. But I think there's an off-ramp for a lot of jobs, and construction and manufacturing both are on-ramps. We'll see who takes the on-ramps.
Is there more that we can do as leaders in the state to create an awareness around the stable career path that's available in the trades? And I'm sorry, there's money to be made.
There probably is more, and I don't know what it is. We've been talking about it and beating the drum for a long time. My belief is so our industry has historically grown up and been populated by kids that have come off the farm, people that have come back from military engagement, and then lastly, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, somebody has been involved with it. Well, today we have fewer kids coming off the farm.
Amen.
We have, thankfully, fewer coming out of military engagement or conflict, at least. And then, as such, fewer brothers, dads, uncles, etc. And so our feeder stock is just not there to be able to do it. But I think the conversations that are most fruitful and productive happen when somebody's in elementary, middle, and high school.
Amen.
and happen at home.
Yep.
There's no guidance counselor or no this or that will likely be able to overwhelm a family decision to say, hey, you don't want to do that. Do this instead, do that instead. So we need to be able to help support the family conversations about what this could be, and be ready when they're there. And we'll keep beating the drum as an industry, but I think it starts there. And then secondly, I would say there's certainly a good income to be made and a lifestyle to be had. And I think we need to be talking about sort of the lifestyles, because you can make money doing about anything.
Yep.
It's a terrific lifestyle if you really enjoy it. And how can we expose people to that lifestyle, the income, and the unique opportunities that it creates? Because I think our industry. So we're not the most inventive industry, and we're going to need to be innovative and creative to be able to overcome labor decreasing and the need to stabilize productivity or improve it. It's an exciting time to come, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and that's the drum we need to beat.
Now, experts from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield, our Made in Iowa presenting sponsor, break down top health concerns for employers. Today, Cammie Jenkins, Vice President of Health Services, talks about the free personalized physical and mental health support available to Wellmark members.
Healthcare in general can be confusing. When individuals have multiple chronic conditions or behavioral health condition that they're dealing with, sometimes they just need additional help or support to help them through that journey. And many times they'll look towards their employer for that particular help. That's where our case management program can come into play. We have registered nurses and social workers on staff that can help those individuals, regardless of where they are in that journey, help them identify potential gaps they might have in that healthcare journey and help and guide them along the way. Wellmark Case Management connects with members a couple different ways. First, we'll look at claims information, additional data that we have, and make outreach to individuals that might have a gap in care. Another way is that we'll have individuals that will refer into our case management program. So that can come through their employer, potentially customer service, or they can even self-refer through the web. Once we connect with individuals, we'll understand where they are in their healthcare journey. We'll want to make sure that they're following up with their providers. Do they have the right medications for their particular condition? Are there other questions that we can answer for them and help guide them? And then we'll also provide support for their family and caregivers to make sure they feel supported with this individual as well. And the other thing is it's completely free and it's available to all members. When employees engage in case management, a couple things that employers can see. First of all, they can see an overall just healthier workforce. When individuals are engaging in their care and they're managing their chronic condition or they're managing their mental health, they can see overall costs will go down because individuals are getting the right care at the right time, they're getting the right preventative care. The other thing is that when you have a workforce that is taking care of their health, they're going to be more productive. And when individuals are more productive, you'll see less absenteeism, and so you'll have an overall just healthier workforce that is more productive. We know that healthcare in general is very complicated, and from a case management standpoint, we're there to help make sure that it is simple and easy and you get the right care at the right time.
Thanks for listening. Want to learn more? Visit wellmark.com/Made in Iowa. Wellmark is an Iowa leader in group health insurance coverage. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association. There is no question that construction is a volatile industry. You are sort of a victim to the economy of the day. I asked you the question before we turned the mics on. What industry is humming right now?
Yeah, there's only one that I'm aware of, market sector in Iowa, and it's data centers. They are, and not just here, but everywhere. If you're participating in that, you got a snoot full of work and opportunity.
Right.
The soft ag economy has ripple effects through lots of industries. AI and some AI anxiety is having some ripple through some industries. Property tax reform, I'd say in Des Moines, has got everybody's attention on the municipal side to figure out, well, I might be able to afford to build it, but I might not be able to staff it, so I might not do that. And then certainly unrest in Washington, D.C. doesn't endear a lot of confidence for people. So I'd say the rest of the commercial construction industry is softer than it's been in a while. I told you that commercial construction is the caboose of the economic train. Whatever happens 18 to 24 months before that ultimately happens to us. So I think we're seeing some positive signs in the economy overall that things are starting to improve, and we'll feel that improvement eventually, just not today or tomorrow.
As you look at the horizon and the projects you've got in the pipeline, what excites you the most right now?
The governor signed legislation a few years ago to allow municipal projects to be delivered differently through a construction manager at risk model as compared to simply a design bid build model. And so it allows a city or a county or a school district the opportunity to go through a process to pick their leader, pick their prime contractor, and then execute that work through a public process to get it delivered. And so we're participating in some of that, but our worlds collided when that happened because we do a lot of public sector construction management work and we do a lot of municipal water and wastewater work. And so those worlds came together in a way in which we are really uniquely suited to be able to execute on that, to lead on that. And so, and
when
we,
was that
we
passed?
expect, I think, July of 2022.
Okay.
So nearly 4 years ago. And it's taken a while because construction projects take a long time to get through design and et cetera, et cetera. But we're doing a new water plant in Altoona using that model, taking bids this week on a new water plant in Bondurant, and many other municipalities are considering the use of this way to deliver municipal water and wastewater work. And that's exciting because there's a number of new things about that allow collaboration between construction managers and designers and cities to be able to bring value during the design and then bring value to the execution.
Because there's no question the infrastructure is going to have to be improved. So this just allows more collaboration.
It does.
To get it done.
It does.
I love that.
Yeah.
You have had a hand in a lot of really cool projects over the course of your career. Prior to you joining, I had no idea. Of course, we filmed this in the Iowa Everywhere studio. Mm-hmm. And when we were prepping, I found out you guys built Hilton Coliseum, home of some of my favorite memories.
Yeah. The magic.
The magic,
as
Hilton Magic, is because of you and your company.
So our company started 1934, a Depression-era company, and it started as James Thompson and Sons. They moved here from Albert Lea, Minnesota, and thought, well, a college town would be a good place to start a company. And so they launched and got to be a pretty sizable company in Ames, and they were a union company. And there were many non-union companies coming into the market, so they set up a companion non-union company that ultimately became Story and continued on. Well, continues on today. Well, back in the day, yeah, we built Hilton Coliseum, and one of my predecessors, Norm Reese, was I think a nephew or a descendant of James Thompson, moved here from Denmark and got his engineering degree from Iowa State and worked on that job and is still living today. He's in great health and
Wow.
Can tell stories about what it was like to work on that. And so we still have people that used to work for our company that are living today that worked on that project.
Legacy is important to you, and you have figured out a way to preserve the legacy of your retiring employees. Talk about your podcast and your hope for legacy building through the podcast.
Yeah. So it didn't start necessarily as a podcast. It started as something else and developed into a podcast. So I would produce, with the help of my very capable marketing guy, Mitch Anderson, we would produce a video, kind of a monthly update video, 5 minutes, maybe send it out to our team members of projects and people and things like that, so they could see it when it was. Well, I had children, my son and his wife, and grandchildren living in Colorado, and so I would send it to them too. And they started to associate me, that video, obviously with me, their grandpa, and it was a way to create some sort of connection there. And that spawned then an idea for Mitch. Well, we have a lot of retirees from our company and from people in the industry, architects, engineers, subcontractors, owners, et cetera. And so Mitch had the idea, let's create a podcast called Exit Interview.
Love it.
Where we just simply sit with microphones and capture their story, their individual story, their journey through the industry, counsel they would provide people in the future, any of their other memories. So we could at least memorialize that and have a way to share it with future generations. Because if we didn't get it then, people aren't writing books that much anymore. People aren't reading books that much anymore. So we at least have captured this, and it's available on podcast channels as well as our website. And it's a cool way to capture the Iowa industry stories of construction.
Speaking of legacy, you've been doing this a long time. You are fanatical about leadership. Part of leadership is replicating yourself. How are you building your own succession plan, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so I bought into ownership in the company probably 25 years ago now, 24 years ago. And you don't really realize it necessarily when you buy in, but shortly thereafter you realize, boy, this is only worth something when somebody's willing to pay you for it at the end of it. And so in our company, there's really two kinds of succession. There was ownership succession and leadership succession. And we dealt with the ownership succession by selling to all of our employees through an ESOP 3.5 years ago. Awesome. And so that allowed some of the ownership and leadership to decouple, because prior to that, they were really yoked together pretty tightly. And
that makes a company very vulnerable.
It can, unless right leaders come with the right risk tolerance at the right time. And leaders are defined by followers. And we were fortunate enough 22 years ago when we started this, is we had a great supporting cast of people in the company that were on board and willing to support and willing to make it happen. And as leaders at the time, we benefited from that greatly. And it's a different day today. I'm not saying people wouldn't get on board with that and whatnot, but as a 30-something leader, I had a bunch of 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds on the team to help push this thing forward. Right. Today, those 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds aren't there, so it's going to be a much younger cast of leaders to ultimately push companies forward. So we dealt with the ownership piece of it. So the leadership piece, nominally speaking, I'm 58. Well, not nominally, I am 58. And in about 4 years, the idea is to exit the company.
Oh, wow.
And so we have been planning and preparing. When we came into leadership, I would say the two guys I came in with, Steve and Pat, we did it. We elected to divide the responsibilities differently than our predecessors. So I never really view succession as plug and play as much as I view it as a series of skills that need to be resident within people that love each other and want to do it together in a way in which it can be successful.
Cool.
So we are coalition building and we're team building with current team members and always on the hunt for leaders to add to our team to be able to make it go.
Awesome. Anything else you want the audience to know about Story Construction, the investment you make, not only in your people, but also you're in Ames and you invest a lot in your local community?
Yeah. I would say that the thing that really makes us most unique, and we love to show our construction production 2.0 and our lean methodology to anybody. There are other GCs that fly in from around the country that we gladly host and show how we do what we do. Because if we can raise the tide for everybody, everybody's boat floats a little bit better. And so we have now propagated that from the tools that we use in our sites and how we do it into a whole cultural movement called the Story Way. And so that's embodied in a lot of the philosophical principles and routines that we use to ultimately get results on our sites for all of the workers on our sites. But I'd say when you see things on a site, you'll see how it started. And there's a lot more layers to peel back there that we are continuing to develop and invest in so that everybody can be the beneficiary of it.
Awesome. Well, I sure appreciate you coming in today and sharing a little bit of your story, pun intended. See how I did that?
Yeah, love that.
And I invite you, if you've got news or a cool project, come back in and tell us about it.
We'll do it.
Thank you for tuning in to Made in Iowa. Subscribe, like, and share wherever you listen. Catch episodes weekly from the Iowa Everywhere studio on the BPC streaming network.